Someone said, "Good luck, mods." He just needs to start off with a big eye. Oh,
Hey everybody, it's Joe here. I'm the game director of Destiny 2, and I'm so excited to be on stream with y'all.
you don't seem very excited.
Ever stream where I'm playing a video game, so bear with me. I'm definitely no Fallout here, but I do have some professional assistance in Andy from home. Andy.
Good to see you, Joe. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. I'm excited. I'm a little bit nervous. I mean, I think the internet is going to see a lot of dad aim this morning, so we'll get that out of the way. I have no idea where to look. Is that like a common streamer problem? It's very strange.
It's all right. We
Okay.
have some, I believe, in chat who can help leverage some of their experience.
Okay.
And yeah, hey everyone, hello, happy Twids Day. Joe is indeed correct. My name's Andy, calling in here during a lovely gloomy day here in the Pacific Northwest. But welcome to the Destiny 2 Team Twitch channel. This is a place where we're looking forward to having some more relaxed conversations with all you Guardians out there. And in that very same spirit, today we're going to go ahead and jump in, play some Destiny with all you fine folks, answer your questions here in chat about Destiny. I will always note, Twitch chat can move a little fast, so I'll do my best to keep track with y'all. But I think it's time for us to dive in and play some Destiny. Joe, you got some altars of summoning ready to go, or what are you feeling like today?
Yeah, I think so. Andy, what do you think I should? I got some options here to play with. I'm not sure what my warlock has equipped here. That its light is 2 down, so that'll be an interesting thing to find out in a second. I bet that fusion rifle is 1800 and not 1810.
I was gonna say, which is the 1800 culprit. I don't know.
Maybe.
Chat, what do you guys want to see?
Oh yeah, let's get their opinion.
I already see some
Titan.
the stag.
All right. Let's do some Titan Banner of War, because I think we'll do some probably do some stasis a warlock in a bit.
This is the depth of builds. That's all right. If we were, what do we?
It seems very unstructured, which is kind of cool. I don't know what the heck's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think we'll go into some altars here and see some. Maybe we'll do some tier 3s. So we'll keep Wishender around in case we need it. But we'll be able to change off to something else if we're not gonna need the real high damage against some like tanky red bars. But let's go to altar.
But yeah, good morning, everyone. Obviously, today we got the Twid coming up right after the stream, so there's plenty of fun stuff for y'all to dive into, but thank you for taking the time to join us this morning.
You're welcome.
Oh, I should actually be checking. I'm a little bit behind on my seasonal challenges, and I know there's some stuff that so kinetic final blows, great. We got a Wishender going on. We've got rapidly defeated combatants. Not the best for Wishender, but we got to do it at altars, so I think we can do it. And some precision. Yeah, I think we got like 3 things here that we can sort of min-max here and try to get them all done at the same time.
Don't mention anything negative? Of course not. They're just trying to stream and.
Thank you very much, by the way. Yes,
they're trying to
welcome everyone.
Be
this
relatable.
Is indeed, a great chance for us to hang out and chat with all you guys. If you match in with Joe as well, make sure and send him a note. Although, like someone's already sending their super up towards him. No, I think that was actually just a grenade. But no, at any rate, yeah. Thanks everyone for joining us this morning. We've got plenty to talk about, but let's take a look and see what it is chat's looking to ask us for. If you got any questions, make sure and go ahead and lob them into chat. I think we're going to keep an eye out as best as we can for anything related, especially to the season. You know, obviously here in the midst of Season of the Witch, there's a lot of awesome new stuff to dive into in terms of the activities. The story obviously has been having some fun beats recently as well.
Oh, we got to get this side going on first.
Oh, here we go.
Just got the blueberry. He's already experiencing getting stream sniped.
Sending me some whispers, but I'm a controller PC gamer, which I'm sure is making Twitch chat real happy right now. So my response time to whispers is always pretty slow. I like put the controller down and go to the keyboard and type it out.
Sivon, have you been a controller roller ever since the D1 days, and you just brought that forward on PC?
I have, yeah, definitely. You know, D1 put me in the controller world for Destiny, and I'm pretty biased. I think that Bungie makes. Let's start with the tier 2 here. Let's see how we do. I think that Bungie makes some of the best feeling games on a controller. We have some like real experts in a bunch of the controller craft, so it's really hard for me.
Got the roller right here.
I just think it feels so good.
I mean, honestly, I don't know. That's as much as I'm a PC gaming purist. I think the biggest goal there is basically just to use whatever control scheme works best for you.
Yep.
We got a bunch of questions rolling in.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and start with one about a brand new PvP mode we just went ahead and released. How are you feeling about Checkmate so far? Do you think it's living up to what your expectations were?
I have been having a blast in Checkmate, so I hope everyone else has as well. I think it's doing a really good job of both keeping the parts of the Destiny sandbox that we love in the mode, but sort of taming the parts that can get a little bit too wild and make PvP a little bit less tactical.
He's doing a good job of talking and playing.
The PvP team right now
This experienced streamer right here.
Not only are we thinking about, hey, we should be doing more tuning to Checkmate, but I think we're also really thinking about, hey, how do we get this out in front of more people? How do we think about Checkmate in a larger PvP ecosystem? I think you should be seeing a lot more PvP Checkmate lab stuff coming out, and then I think hopefully pretty quickly figuring out, hey, how we're going to move this thing out of labs and get it sort of the general pop playing, because I think most of the people that are willing to go click on that labs button right now are more, hardcore indoctrinated players, which is great. But I think we also really want to see, like, hey, what would someone's, first PvP experience be like if it was, had more Checkmate-like tuning. So yeah, we're really excited about what Checkmate is doing, and really excited to see more.
Got that Wish Ender DPS
and sort of fine tuning that experience.
Yeah, that Wish Ender DPS on that boss.
That maybe haven't had a chance to dive into Checkmate. Broad strokes, it's basically just us trying to make sure that your primary gunplay is kind of at the core of the experience. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I think it is. It's definitely about sort of slowing the gameplay down a little bit to make it a little bit more tactical, a little bit more weapons focused. But I think there's also a really good balance there of the RPG still matters. So I think that the way you think about your stats in Checkmate is very different because of the different cooldowns on your abilities. Hey, do you want to invest heavy into intellect to try to get a single super off in the game and use that to sort of sway the game at the end? Do you want to really try to make up for some of the lower class ability to try to get more class abilities off per minute? But ultimately, I think in Checkmate, you're seeing a lot more of, hey, how do you do with the BR in your hands, and that just mattering a lot more than you getting hit off of a stray grenade, and I think also even cooling off some of the special ammo as well. I think we see a lot more of the long range archetypes come into play in Checkmate that really maybe can't compete with a sniper in some of the special ammo dominated economies.
As someone who even has frequently tried to use his dead man's tail to foolishly challenge snipers in a lane where I had no business doing it, no, I gotta say it's been fun just sort of like getting to just focus around that primary just precision playstyle. Honestly, like it's been really cool sort of having that be the razor's edge you're walking.
Happy they're finally have included Checkmate. We've been talking about a bare bones playlist forever.
That's been my life experience.
It's funny.
I see also too is obviously as a Titan who's rocking Strand, Banner of War is here at the core of it. We've been getting some questions as well. How do you feel about where Banner of War is right now?
Don't nerf it. Don't do it.
I think that we're really excited about Banner of the War is it sort of illustrates this Titan fantasy that we've been pushing for a long time. Of like, hey, you play this class because you like to get into the fray, and that can feel really dangerous in a bunch of high-end activities. And so I think we're pretty excited about Ban of War. I think we'll keep looking at it in how it affects aspirational activities and is it too dominant in those. But I've been playing a bunch of Master Crota. I've been playing a bunch of Nightfalls, and I still think we're seeing a bunch of Bonk Titan right in those activities. We're still seeing a bunch of Arc Titan. We're still seeing a ton of value put on other support supers like Well, and so I don't think we've seen Banner, totally dominate the scene in a way that would get us like high pry worried about like, hey, is this thing just like too oppressive?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Good, no Banner of War nerf.
I don't know. In my experience, it feels like that gap of survivability that it's trying to fill. It's such a worthwhile tool that it's I think nice just for Well Warlocks to get a break every once in a while too.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, I think the identity of the kit is great. I think as we get, hey, we're tuning more aspirational activities, we're adding more to the game. I think we're always open to like, hey, is the tuning just a little too hot here, right? Like people love this thing, but is it going to make Raids World first? not as high intensity if the healing is so much. So we keep an eye on those levers. I think we can do tier 3. I feel like we got this.
I was gonna say, is it time for?
If I have
powerful offering?
Daffy is watching or KBG is watching, let's get some good clips from all this stuff. We could probably get like 20 clips from this entire stream. Bungie actually addresses potentially nerfing Banner of War.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like it's gonna happen, but at least they addressed it because people have speculated that for a while.
Got some questions as well. Speaking of theory crafting and build crafting one, we got a question about Weave Walk and its balance in general. Someone just asking if they wanted to give the feedback for maybe getting a second fragment slot. Where would be the best place for them to drop that feedback at?
I think here's a great place to drop feedback. Obviously Andy's looking at that right now and saying, oh, here's another folks talking about how many fragment slots a certain aspect gets. I think we've seen this on Reddit, we've seen it on Twitter, so I think all those channels get monitored. I wouldn't be afraid or think that like, hey, there's only one channel that Bungie looks at. So definitely heard around some of that. I think a lot of the aspect in fragment tuning is really interesting. Weavewalk has the potential to be incredibly oppressive and incredibly powerful. I think it's one of those things that feels really cool, but we have to really monitor. Maybe even less from a pure balance standpoint of like, hey, are the numbers too strong? But oh my gosh, this just breaks some experiences in some really scary ways, like PvP with Rift or reviving, being able to survive through stuff that you shouldn't be able to survive through. Like that's the Weavewalk fear, and I think that we're still making sure that tuning is right. Oh my gosh, this is a Tormentor, so let's make sure I don't lose my super here.
So I'm going to gather up some questions as well while the Tormentor is dealt with.
Yeah, I'm going to let them.
So far, it's all buff and nerf questions.
Spin out some of.
Are you going to buff this? Are you going to nerf that?
We got going on over here.
People are funny.
Job. As the one who typically is brought to a raid, and they're like, "What job do you want?" I'm like, "Ad." I say like that King and Queens meme. Let's see. There's a question too about. I'm not sure if we have any information on this, but the UI. I believe we've talked about maybe any updates to being able to see buffs and debuffs.
Yeah, I think I'm probably responsible for some of the leaky faucet here. We are definitely doing work on the UI and making sure that we're really able to display the information that we want. And this is all sort of like final shape time frame related right now for us. Looking at that, I think it's there's a lot of information that people care about at different times, and so that's still going through a bunch of iterations. And I think one of the things that's really important for us is obviously that we get the information on the screen that players need to see. But it's so, the first time we make any changes to that screen, it's so disorienting as a long-term Destiny player to be like, oh, whoa, my armor buffs are on this side now, the encounter buffs are here. And so there's a lot of iteration on that happening too, just making sure it makes sense, making sure that it's readable. Cool. But I think anything that we do here is going to be really disruptive to the Destiny player brain the first time it comes out. So we're trying not to be afraid of that because I think anything is just going to feel like pretty different the first time you see it, and it's going to take some getting used to. Whoa, look at that, all witch.
Oh man, you guys are going to hit like a ton of bricks.
I hope this is not a high tier. This is a classic sort of Destiny issue where people are like, we always got to do the tier 3s. I'm like, well, we got a little bit of progress left on that bar, people. I wasn't paying attention when we
Bungie dev
see
roasting the blueberries. I love this. This is beautiful.
With all your mic.
Oh, this guy's telling me it's a tier 1. I should have trusted my random.
No, never trust the blueberries. You know this.
We're looking out for you, man. Honestly.
Yeah,
we need toxic Joe.
Intent.
Yeah. You got that pamphlet from Microsoft as well, huh? All right, let's see. There's some questions too. I know it's kind of broad strokes. We have obviously a lot more to unveil, in the coming weeks and months about Stasis's sort of updates. But there's some folks asking, just in general, is like, what's coming up for Stasis? Are there going to be, in addition to any
yes, Stasis 2.0,
any tweaks or anything like that? Are there going to be any new planned fragments or abilities?
I think right now we're focused on the tuning the kit and small additions to the kit. So stuff like fragments would be on the table. I wouldn't expect stuff like new Stasis aspects coming in the immediate future. But yeah, I think everyone's sort of like, hey, how can we get Stasis to sort of, you know, live alongside its darkness brother in Strand right now, and the team's got some cool stuff coming down the pipe sooner than you might think on some of the Strand stuff.
Very cool. New Stasis fragments confirmed. That's sick.
Yeah. Yeah, and
That's
just
a clip
as a,
right there
just
for
as
sure.
a reminder here, you know, I know I don't know because I'm so new to streaming, so some folks are helping me. So
Dropped like 10
I'm
power
Joe,
bricks there.
Destiny 2 game director, and we got Andy Salisbury from the community team and the social team here chatting with me.
Yes, that's right. Hello, everyone, again. I'm sure ever since we started, and now there's been probably a lot of new additions to the stream. But hey, everyone, my name's Andy. I work over here at Bungie on the social media team, and we're hanging out here this morning on the Destiny 2 team channel. To answer a few questions as well that I've seen kind of go through chat is, one, you know, we're looking to just go ahead and
His
talk to you
face
guys
is very
about
desynced.
what's currently going on in Season of the Witch, any questions you have about what's been going on in the story
It's not a
recently,
big deal,
whatever the case
but...
may be. And also, too, as a reminder, thank you all for the hype train. I should remind you all that obviously all these subs go directly to our friends at the Bungie Foundation, who have a pretty incredible mission. You can head out over to Twitter and check them out at Bungie Love. You can get plenty of information there. But yeah, thanks everyone for taking the time to join us this morning to play some Destiny with Joe over here.
All right, I'm gonna get out of this, and I'm gonna go quickly to the maybe a little bit of the strikes queue to finish one thing off. I think we will get into a little bit of some challenging content in a bit, but
PvP.
As you
What's
know,
up, gunman?
I'm adjusting to this world of talking to people and playing at the same time. It looks like I got some stuff to do in the old Vanguard ops. So let's get in there.
There we go. Yeah, go ahead and get the right subclass on. Make sure and match that burn.
Oh,
Watch party.
Let's make sure we're doing. We're just doing kinetic weapons here. I think power.
Let's see.
This is not going to be
Names
the power.
pants. I see a question about Ohio being open for remote work. Unfortunately, I don't think we have the information for that, but I will say if you do keep an eye on the Bungie or Bungie Careers accounts, that'll be the place where, as we kind of get more information about any of that opening up further, that's where we'll
Subathon when? Subathon.
You know what?
Let's see.
We're going to do here. We're going to go to
People in chat are
maybe get on some strands.
This one says make dungeons harder.
Maybe get myself the right gun
let's see.
here?
We got a question about the Os's Gift and Deca Whispers kind of in the moment buffs. Can we expect more modifiers like Os's Gift or the Deca Whispers in future activities? They're so fun.
Yeah, I think that we really like to continue to sort of mix and match with the sandbox in a bunch of our PvE content in a way that feels new and different each time. So definitely, I think you've seen 2 experiments here, and I don't think we're done with that. So I think that the Deca Whispers was really cool. The sort of rogue, super light version of deep dives with that activity, we're really excited about, and you know, I think we've been talked that we're going to continue to show sort of evolutions of that framework in next season. So I think you should expect to see another hit at sort of ways that we push the sandbox around, and ways that, you know, that can affect the way that you think about, oh, what build should I be using? And to do each of these activities feel a little bit different each time you play them.
It'd be a shame to
that makes
lose
sense,
him.
honestly. It's also too just nice to just have that moment where you're really thinking critically about how you're even going to have your
100
individual
resilience,
playstyle in the moment shift. Where it's like,
Strand
all right, well,
Hunter.
I can't
Sir
get
Track
the void
needs
damage
facade.
because I'm running Le Monarch, but I can get extra precision damage. So let's just make the most out of that while we can. Let's see here. All right. Any plans on Joe streaming on a daily basis? I don't know if that's in the cards.
Yeah, my daily calendar at Bungie is some circle of hell with the amount of conflicts and meetings that we go to. So, I mean, I will be hopping right out of this stream and running upstairs and going into a meeting. So while I love getting to interact with the community and I play a ton of Destiny, I think that y'all are gonna also want to make sure all the Bungie players here are spending some significant time making sure the game is getting built and looking at everything that we're doing. So
Nope, just full-time streaming.
Future in
Forget
which,
the game development.
You know, I become a full-time or part-time streamer. Appreciate the confidence, though.
Yeah. Sorry, chat, I tried. All right, let's see. We got another question about legacy focusing. Are there any plans for legacy focusing to be expanded on, or old ritual activities or emblems to be acquirable again, like for example in Iron Banner? Similar system is already in use for shaders.
Yeah, I think y'all have seen a bunch of the quality of life stuff that we've been doing. I think we always look for the stuff that's landing and doing more of it, right? Like once we invest in the ability to do something like legacy focusing, once the ability would do invest in the ability to do something like favoriting, like it's it becomes much easier for us to keep doing that work in the future. And so, well, again, no announcement here. I think that y'all have seen sort of the patterns that we've been showing, and can see how we could continue to expand on that.
Interesting.
Here,
That's like a very non-answer, but
yeah,
we like it. We like
No.
legacy focusing. We like shader favoriting.
Spoken like a true
We like
politician.
quality of life. Who would have guessed that we like quality of life things for Destiny?
As people like us that play the game nonstop as well, yeah, as it turns out. Let's see, there's some questions too about master versions of raids and dungeons.
Sure.
Hey Joe, are there any plans to make master raids and dungeons available all the time, rather than having to wait over a month for one to come back into rotation? It doesn't have to be farmable all the time, but just being able to play it at any time would be neat.
Yeah, I think so. There's maybe two things there. There's like the rollout, and there's also the say, how do we treat this with some of our older content, right? And that lives in the rotator version of this. So I think we're definitely looking at rollouts of master and sort of what we call PED internally, player elected difficulty content for Nightfalls and for raids. And as we get into some of the sort of power simplification work that we talk about in the final shape, we're reevaluating a bunch of those rollouts. And so I think we want players to feel like their power matters, and part of that is to be able to go into some activities while it's still low, right? Where it's like where you really value having put that work in, or having a friend that's put that work in. And so we're definitely looking at all of that sort of in how we rolled out in the final shape. And I think we've even in season 22 might have changed, like when the Grey Masters were first available for Nightfalls, and we continue to sort of like tweak and fine-tune that pretty consistently.
All right, we've got two kind of consistent threads popping up in chat as well, so we'll just go ahead and take the easy one first. But one, everyone's wondering, what happened to your mustache, Joe?
Yeah, so my wife, who I love very dearly, she goes through phases of how much she can put up with the mustache, and so it's a balance here. You're in a relationship. You got to think about yourself. You got to think about your partner, and so
Man just wants his mustache.
Ebbs and flows.
That's fair.
All good things, in moderation.
I gotta say, as the one person with nowhere near as powerful as your mustache was on the stream, my cat doesn't complain about it a lot, so thankfully I just get to go ahead and look ridiculous all the time. Also, too, we're getting a lot of calls for maybe this is an idea for a future stream. A lot of folks are asking for Dado to go through your vault.
Ooh, yeah. Here's the thing I'll say. I feel pretty good about my weapons collection. An area that I am really weak in is probably my armor collection. And so I keep my vault pretty clean.
No shot he has a bunch of god rolls.
What that really means is I have
no shot he has a bunch of god rolls.
A few sets of legendary armor. And so I think one thing that I might be really looking at investing in the future is like going pretty hard on the artifice grind and getting more of those, and being able to have different sets for different things, because my stat allocation is not as good as it could be for a bunch of things. Hey, are we disrupting here? Did we disrupt? We didn't disrupt.
Yeah, shoot it. I don't know. Activated.
Boy, a lot of love for Checkmate in chat right now. Yeah, I think we were able to talk a little bit about Checkmate earlier, but for those that weren't around, clip notes, Joe, we're feeling pretty good about it right now, as I recall.
Yeah, we are feeling pretty good about it. Yeah, I think, again, we really look at it as a way to, maybe we didn't say this before, but one of the advantages is it allows us to keep sort of the PvE game pretty wild and the PvP game more readable. And so I think there's a we never know how this stuff is going to land once millions of Destiny players get their hands a hold of it. And so we're pretty excited that the players are excited about now, and yeah, we want to continue to sort of invest in this experiment and push it out
He lives.
to see
It's just normal strike.
how could this fit in the long-term future of Destiny PvP.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just to
Also,
say
too,
it, there are
seeing a
so
lot
many
of-
people. I think
yeah.
one of the things that's really interesting about the PvP side of Destiny is there are so many people with just radically different opinions on what they're looking for out of that mode and how they want to play. And so
Oh
I think that's
no,
one of the
they're
most
gonna
challenging
wipe it.
spaces for design.
Oh no, res him,
Because,
quick. Oh,
hey.
Oh,
No.
not the wipe.
that's so fast.
You know, the cluster of ghosts here at the end of the hall is not the place that you want the cluster of ghosts in the strike.
It is a concerning sign, yeah. I gotta tell you, those explosive.
Don't walk
shakes,
into that.
turns
What are
out
you
Pretty good
doing?
at finding you in that small of a hallway, honestly.
And also, just me with my back to the electricity here is also, I think, not the play. Let's just get this thing out of here. Sorry, friends. We gotta go.
You know, also too,
Oh,
if you there we go. Never mind. I mean, if you
he's so dead.
stasis grab
Oh, he
all the way
got
down
it.
to the end, it makes you go faster. Is totally what I was gonna say.
Did you say stasis grapple? We don't have
Oh, I
stasis
did
grapple
strand.
here.
I'm so. Oh, jeez. All right. moving right
Stasis
along,
grapple.
chat, forgive
Oh,
me.
stasis grapple leaked.
So some folks here are also talking about
New stasis
Protoss, obviously,
grapple
with that
coming
being
in.
our latest reprise
Final shape
raid.
leaked
From our
early.
side, from a design standpoint, and after seeing everyone dig through it, how did you guys feel about how contest mode was received?
I think contest mode went really well for Protoss End. I think we were really happy with sort of the time to complete there. We were happy that it had both a mix of people thinking about their strategy, and you know, it required some sandbox excellence to be able to succeed. And so yeah, overall, I think we're really happy. I think we're looking at those knobs and dials for our next raid and saying, hey, which of these should we hold where they are? Which of these
Very
could we crank up? And then I think also just from the mechanical side, we think Crota hit a pretty cool stride. I will say with the reprise raids, it's like this advantage that the Destiny team doesn't get very often, which is, hey, take a piece of content. We love our content mystery, right? There are no open betas for Destiny content. Every time someone's playing a raid, everyone's going at the same. Oh, we're getting a Bungie alert. Do y'all hear that?
What the?
Oh my god!
In the Bungie studio?
This is
Someone pulled the fire alarm.
An ARG. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Paul's on the way. He's back.
The AI is taking over.
Well, let us know if you need to take a break as well. Obviously, if we need to.
I'm
put a pause
looking
on the
up.
stream,
No
that's
one is coming here and yelling at me about where I need to be. So.
What the heck?
Excellent. And actually, too, this may be a deeper question to dive into as we kind of hang out in orbit. But two, I think a lot of people are curious about what it was like to just bring Protoss End forward. You know, obviously, there was some naysayers about just how difficult of an experience it would be before it launched, and when it arrived, it did not live up to those expectations. It was way tougher than people expected in a good way.
Yeah, I think that the team felt pretty confident. You know, we had right at the tail end of D1, the raid team had brought Vault of Glass and Destiny 1 and Crota up to parity with like King's Fall and Wrath and those experiences, and so we'd had some experience of like what it was like to look at that content, and so I think this left the team be really confident in both. Okay, we know some way to fix the bridge encounter and make that really engaging, but we want to provide an additional twist. So we just had so much data to go after here of like the way that players interacted with these encounters that I think it let the team be really confident that, hey, we were going to be able to make something awesome here. And I think that it's cool to have a raid that's like has pretty minimal traversal elements in it and is a little bit of a faster experience from encounter to encounter. And the team, I think, proved that, hey, we can make Destiny
I enjoyed
really
Crota
cool,
contest.
and we can make that experience still feel.
I think the final shape
worthy
rate's going to be
of a raid, and so
pretty tough.
yeah, I think we're
Looking
all
forward to
super
that now
stoked with how
after
it turned
Crota.
out, and also just really excited about what we've learned for the future of raid development as well.
Yeah, and even too, I will say, just even from my side, like seeing how you guys updated all the weapons and everything. Like Fang of Your Youth was my very first love of the scout rifle. That I remember that was the very first time I ever went, or the very first weapon rather. I
You know what I liked?
Flawless in D1.
The Hunger of Crota. Where's that?
Yeah, I think
any exciting.
I'm mad.
The perk pools on some of those weapons are really exciting, and the actual intrinsic family trait there is really cool as well. So I think really happy with how a bunch of those guns have found homes in the meta. I think for me, it's like I'm still chasing the Adept Abyss Defiant. That's going to make me happy, and so there's a lot of chase left in that raid. Okay, I think this is best dressed. I don't think that's tight and biased. I think that's clearly best dressed. Let's see how this other person performs. I mean, we got to get those numbers up.
Best dressed.
You gotta leave some video game left for everyone else to play, man. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
113 kills. Joe's out here carrying. The Hunter looks way better than him.
Folks they'll say Ace of Spades. You can't use that in PvE, and I think all those folks are just wrong about that.
Ace is very good in PvE.
Use Aces.
Literally, you just buffed hand cannons, Joe.
You
just buffed them.
Ace of Spades is just
it's an exotic. Does 40% more damage to red bars.
This is, obviously it's an exotic, so it's going to live in that territory. But to elaborate on it being a best-in-class hand cannon, like it's even as more exotics come out that are still really impressive and fun to use, it's like you just got to keep going back home. Like
Ace is so good. Anyone hating on Ace?
I think we're gonna do one more Vanguard op so I can get this. I have to like buff a friend. Is that what I have to do? I have to maybe give somebody some strand juice. Powered melee is just not going to happen with this build unless I really think about this. I bet I can revive someone. Not saying that someone in this Vanguard Ops is going to die, but
I was like, are you going to sabotage one of your?
Eager them into a wall, Joe, and then you can res them. That's the way. That is the way.
All right, let's see.
Oh, we're evaluating Guardians. I should be looking at the camera. That's what a streamer would do in this moment. They would be looking at the camera. They'd be talking to the people. They'd be asking them how their day was. Yeah. Oh no. I have a screen over here that shows what it looks like, and as someone who hates looking at pictures of film of themselves, I just saw the world's largest version of my head appear in my peripheral vision. So I'm sorry for everyone that's looking at this right now. I think maybe it makes more sense than looking at us launching in this Vanguard Ops, but I know it's not easy to look at, so I appreciate the hardship that everyone on the stream is going through right now.
Thank you, Joe.
Let's keep
I'm going to need 1,000 silver for having to persevere through this.
Someone's wondering, what is, in your opinion, the most iconic Destiny weapon archetype?
I think
question.
This is a low-hanging fruit. Even if it's not my favorite, I think the most
gameplay
is the hand cannon. I think when people think about Destiny, they think about, hey, it's cool, it's nights in space. It's also got this pretty heavy cowboy slant with so many iconic hand cannons happening. I'm really excited too. I think that it's always been popular both in PvE and PvP, and so we knew sort of hand cannons were lagging behind in PvE for a while, and so this season getting hand cannons back up to being able to live in PvE.
Love that.
I've definitely been doing some sun-shotting.
Hand cannon buffs.
I actually have been running on Death Singer depending on what week it is and what I need to be able to do with my exotic slot on Master. I've been running some Crimson in that encounter because I generally don't need the exotic for the DPS. I can find another way to get there. And I think it's just so much value in staying alive in that encounter, and as long as you can deal with the barriers, there's a lot. So yeah, I will say people often forget Crimson, and it is so good. It deletes things and heals you, which I think are two pretty winning components here.
And I believe reloads itself as well.
It does. Yeah, you can just shoot forever. I said someone was going to die, but we got a stacked fire team of rank 11 Guardians in here, so we'll see if...
Just got to egress them off the map,
The
Joe.
strike protocol that Zavala has run, obviously, has gone ahead and gotten
Crimson.
the highest skilled Guardians possibly can. Let's see. All right. Also, too, as a quick reminder, everyone in chat, we see obviously a lot of subs coming in. Just to let you guys know, all of those go directly to our friends over at the Bungie Foundation. So thank you for any Prime
Imagine
subs,
if he's just like,
be.
all of those subs go
appreciate it.
directly
Helps
into
them
our
accomplish their
pockets.
mission, which you can
We're
learn
rich.
all about out at Twitter
Get
at
fucked.
Bungie Love.
Imagine that's what he's...
Let's see here.
Can we talk about
Maybe
the
this is more of
affectionately
a-
named Beyblade aspect, which is also just a ton of fun? If you have not been doing that on Strand lately, it's a good time.
Yeah, the brand new Strand aspect. So we've got one for each class this season, obviously. So let's go ahead and talk about the Hunter one first, the Beyblade. Whirling Maelstrom, I believe is what we also call it sometimes. But
Sometimes.
Both my dad and I have been running that one a whole heck of a lot, honestly. We affectionately refer to it as the whirligig of death. Don't know how it got that name, but in the moment, you really don't question it, you know?
I'll say Murmur right now is.
He's speedrunning. He's ruining your strike experience. Ban him, Joe.
Vanguard rep, and I gotta get it right now.
He's literally Eager Edge ruining your strike experience. Unbelievable.
We see.
Not so fast, Murmur.
Someone calls it their spinny boy. Mackenzie, that's a good name. Thank you. We're gonna go ahead and use that as well from time to time. Let's see here.
Tries to get his bounties done.
Kitty asks, this is going to be more of a question for me, but speaking of Twitter, any plans to move updates from Bungie Health information to either in-game or your website? You know, we're actually always looking for ways to make sure that we can get the information to all of you. You know, as someone who works on the social media team myself, going to where all of you in the audience are is a really big part of the decisions we make when it comes to spread that information. So if you have any places that it's really important for you to get that intel, whether it be a new platform like Threads or whatever the case is, feel free and let us know. We're happy to go ahead and see what y'all are thinking.
I can't think of any new platforms I use.
I'm realizing that we've now spoken
Send
about
the updates to
War
my OnlyFans.
for our friends of the Titans, the new Strand aspect, the Whirling Maelstrom, and then Weedwalk for our Warlock friends as well. That one has been an exciting time.
It is very exciting. You know, I will say that I've seen a lot of folks do some interesting stuff with Weedwalk. I think also what's gaining some traction.
Look how fast Murmur is on this. Murmur is a fucking legend in this series.
From last season.
This is me playing with fucking Dwayne and Crimson.
Maybe originally we're sleeping on that one a little bit, and I was using it last night, and turns out just pretty good to be able to suspend stuff as frequently as the Wanderer allows you to suspend stuff. So I've seen some folks that really growing up.
He's already at the next part.
Popularity with our Strand.
Oh no.
Yeah, seeing a lot of love.
This is too funny.
The Wanderers
he's gonna
it makes
saved it.
Three-man Crota.
He's getting pulled. He's getting pulled.
It's been so long since I've been good at raids. That is well beyond my skill set.
Oh no.
Win Twab conveniently also too. First of all, it's the Twid.
Oh.
Vernacular.
Yeah.
And coming up shortly after the stream ends. Actually, we usually publish it around 11 a.m. Pacific, which should coincide pretty conveniently with.
So they're only streaming for an hour?
Also, too,
1 hour stream?
Pretty good stuff in it.
Come on, Joe.
We got some cool stuff.
We gotta run in a. You gotta run an LFG Master Crota.
Festival of the Lost on the way.
It's not a real stream if you don't run an LFG Master Crota.
We've got some stuff to talk about.
And it's
there.
TWAB.
Anything you can tease, you don't have to.
I think if we tease it, you know, it doesn't get to be as exciting. So if there's some, Andy, if you're like, Joe, what about this? We can definitely talk a little bit about it. But you know, it's a great post-stream snack to go enjoy. So.
I think you're right. And actually, also too is there was some questions about the crafting as well.
The crafting.
That full September weekend.
Spicy.
The Guardians absolutely went insane, stuffing shotguns into all different types of weapons.
Yeah.
What was it like working here at Bungie as all that happened?
It was definitely an absolutely crazy weekend, and so shout out to the huge amount of people that sort of had to come together that weekend to make sure we could get Destiny back into a normal state. We've probably talked a little bit about this. We have a group of folks that rotates involvement that we call Triage Emergency. It's sort of like Destiny's version of the ER. And so there's constantly stuff happening in the live game or stuff that's about to come out that could be really high priority issues for us to fix. And so this is a group that, you know, meets as frequently as it needs to, but really twice a day, even in the most time, even when we're, you know, feeling the most calm and there's not a lot of patients in the ER. And throughout that process, we discover stuff that it's going to require a lot of bandwidth to fix or needs like really high priority decision making. And so I think that Friday we sort of started seeing this glitch that had been going on in the background, getting a lot of traction, and now this is a thing that like basically anyone in Destiny is going to be able to do. And really quickly started spinning up, you know, meetings to be able to talk about, okay, what does this mean for the game? How quickly even can we fix this? What are the implications of keeping it live in the game? What are the implications of, the last thing we ever want to do is turn the game off. But there are certain states
they had
of the
to
game
consider
get
turning
in
the
where
game
we're
off.
like, oh, people are going to do permanent damage to their character's investment state, and so we're going to have to roll back. And in those cases, we just like try to take the game down as soon as possible, not have people making progress that we'd erase. So all of those things are happening at once, basically. Different teams are thinking about different things. And then we get the experts in from the actual, Destiny crafts people to be like, okay, what is actually happening here and how can we fix it? And so that weekend in particular, it's almost like a boat race, but you sort of assume that none of the boats are going to finish the race in terms of getting fixed out. That like, hey, a lot of these boats are going to sink along the way. And so we start spinning up multiple ways that we think could solve the problem. Maybe some of these involve programming solutions. Maybe other of these involve like really designer-centric solutions. And as
he didn't even shoot the boss.
As that becomes more clear, you have to spin up a bunch of auxiliary resources to be able to test this. So for something like the crafting, we had to create, mirrors of the live retail environment where we could spend
Murmur's already gone.
a ton of time validating our fixes through, saying, hey, is this going to work? And so throughout the weekend, we had fixes that we thought we'd be able to get really soon that, oh no, that's not going to happen. And then we had even the ways that we test the fixes coming up to be like, hey, we've never done this test before. And so the way we think that we could test it might get to a point where everything breaks and you have to find a different solution. And so, what you also, I think, eventually hear was we had a design-centric solution, which was like try to find a way to turn off all of the guns that are affecting the game in a way. And then we have the programming solution, which was like, hey, everyone's going to log in. We're going to be able to find all the guns that are broken, and we're going to be able to set them back to a state that works. And yeah, it was absolute insanity. Definitely one of the craziest weekends at Bungie, and involved a huge amount of people working very hard, people working in shifts to be able to get that out. So we had a ton of fun, I think, on the other side of it, right? A bunch of folks were like, hey, this feels like a fun rule to break in Destiny, and we're getting to have some fun. But it was always dangerous that playing with cheats gets old pretty fast, and so we knew we had to be able to get the game back into a natural state as soon as possible.
Yeah, it was as fun as it was going in there, and
was
just
very
absolutely humbling. Even the scariest of dungeon bosses. Yeah, I think it was
exasperated response.
That's not how things were supposed to
work. But I would have been funny if he was just like, that weekend sucked ass.
Feel free to go as deep or as shallow as you'd like on this one. But we have a QA engineer actually in chat, a fellow game developer. How difficult is it to spin up a mirror of the live environment? You said you guys were testing in a lot of different ways. I imagine one of those is probably just mirroring what's happening live and seeing real time if those are fixing. Is that a muscle we have built up pretty strong here?
I think we obviously have a bunch of, there's a bunch of different qualities that a mirror of the live game can have to be like an exact one-to-one mirror with like this is pretty close. We play with our retail accounts in non-retail environments all the time. So like that's a muscle we have really quickly. I play as my retail account when I'm testing the final shape or when I'm testing season 23. We can also go find like Dado's account and play as Dado in any environment. But that one-to-one mirroring isn't as exact as like the thing that we had to do with the crafting, which is like, hey, we need to make sure all of the settings match this as much as possible. And so we do sort of the first blush tests on things like this is pretty close to retail. And then they'll like spin up a one-to-one almost exact thing. That's a different muscle, especially when you're talking about exporting hundreds of thousands of accounts to this, to this staging ground and being able to test it on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, too, getting some questions. Is there anything fun we're doing to commemorate the crafting by chance? Like an emblem.
I don't know if we've talked about this, so I'm gonna remain cagey on it if we haven't talked about it, because I don't want to reveal, or I don't want to know if plans have changed.
I've been slid a note across my desk. I think we are okay to confirm, but yes, everyone, there will be some info coming in the tweet later this morning. But we can indeed confirm that you'll all be getting a emblem if you were logged in during that weekend of the crafting. But of course, please make sure you double check the twit for all the specifics. But
interesting,
we'll be able to go ahead and put our little
new crafting emblem
shirt at the same time together. And good morning, everyone. Obviously, we have a ton of folks still jumping in to join us. If anyone out there is just joining us, good morning. Welcome to the Destiny 2 team channel. That gentleman right there is the one and only Joe Blackburn. My name's Andy.
Hi.
I work over here on the social media team. We got, I see the one and only Tom Warren in chat, all sorts of content creators. Yeah, welcome everyone.
Uh-oh. No scoops. It's a scoop-free zone.
No, we're just here to hang out. But that said, too, Tom, let us know if you have any questions. Let's take a look and see what chat's been talking about since I've taken my eyes off.
Oh no!
That's
someone
funny.
just put my. Oh, but they can't see this person's join code. So we're gonna go get in some nightballs here.
That's nightfall time.
Like we got a person here. I think some.
You GMing it?
Yeah, some GM.
You can look them up pretty fast.
Some,
You better hurry up.
Strand Warlock GM.
You better hurry up. People are gonna look those codes up.
Into chat, so I can type
It's not hard to find it.
Yeah. Gotta be ready.
Actually, I'm not.
Close your fire
this
too
is
quick.
Moon Heist, which I've definitely done once already this season. It wasn't too bad. Lots of things to shoot. So we're going here with some old Stasis Warlock for some turret action.
Okay, so he's rounding it out. You know, he's got Titan, did a little bit Hunter, now he's doing some Warlock.
I sure hope I have anti-barrier locked. I do. Great. Yeah, so I'm excited to play this. I think the last time I did this, I was on Void Hunter, so I haven't done. We're
gonna see some GM action. Bungie Dev versus Grandmaster. This is
difficult activities here.
a first.
This is a bit more thematic, but just your own personal preference. What's your favorite raid boss that you've ever gone up against, or designed rather?
Yeah, what a wild question. Okay, so raid. I think we were all really happy with how Rolk turned out in recent memory.
Yeah.
I think that you know, there was a really interesting design space there of, you know, Rolk's not a 30,000 foot tall monster. How do you make that feel scary? How do you really personify the darkness and the pyramids? You know, the pyramid units taking on that darkness in a way that felt
all the bows,
thematically
triple
appropriate
bows
for that, and didn't have to be, you know, oh, we're going to build another Riven here, and we've done that before, and so I think that was really exciting, both from the creative standpoint and from how it turned out in the end. So that's probably one answer. Working on, if I go way back, I'm
Joe's got that off
Gold
meta
Off was
build.
the first thing I ever got to work on at Bungie, so that's got a fond place in my heart.
Yeah.
I got to do a lot of work on Riven. That was really interesting to go back and try to build another giant monstrosity, which just involves so many teams from the other end, and I think that we were really happy with how that turned out as well. So they're all my favorites for different reasons, and I think one of the great things is getting to play content that you weren't involved in. I have a lot of love for Deep Swim Crypt as well, to be honest. It's got like a very different vibe than some of our other raids, and so I can remember the first time we were playing that in Beyond Light and really being excited about a bunch of the experiences that were on screen for players there.
Yeah, agreed. Honestly, I think even just like more recently, just going from Valid Disciple to Root of Nightmares, like just how vastly different those raid experiences are on their own. Like,
yep.
Man, it just never gets old jumping into that kind of stuff for the first time.
I will say Nezrak too. You know, we use our buddy boy Nezi as like a really strong creative pillar for like units of the darkness and getting that visual motif right. And I love going to, I think you can just like ArtStation Nezrak concepts. It's some of my favorite explorations we've ever done. I still go back and look at those as sort of like Nezrak looks dangerous, looks worthy of a big opponent, but doesn't look like grotesque, doesn't look like the test I always use. It's like, this unit looks like it smells bad. And how much of Destiny should you be in a place where you're like, if I could smell this, we'd be in a lot of trouble. So, yeah, I think Nezrak has this really interesting.
Unstoppable, about to come stomp them all.
Scary,
better get this guy.
Someone that also has like a pretty cool sleek look.
There's just like this scary, like almost organic look to Desi as well, honestly, where it's just like you just.
He's gonna get blown up by the threat detection in his super.
Because of the laser. That is.
He almost got his whole team wiped. That would have been crazy.
That there was a laser out
in the
there
well.
and just be tossing your super
into
the void.
And we got so used to dodging them during season this year. Here we are, back getting humbled.
You feel often so powerful here in a group of, what is this, just 3 warlocks? And you're like, we are invincible. And then you're like, well, but there is, the war mind is out there and doesn't care about your wells.
That's fine. It happens. I did not expect the Bungie devs to be good at the game by any means, so I'm not going to rush them too hard when they die because, you know, I've done some goofy things myself.
Even more stag defenses in here. Be truly unkillable.
Yeah, getting some love for your faction in general, though. Obviously, the exotic itself is being put to good use.
Bo's tweaking out.
Yeah, you know, there are some art directors at Bungie that, from time to time, don't appreciate my fashion.
I haven't used Tigu in a while.
I don't have a sense of style, but I respectfully disagree on a bunch of that. I would welcome all Bungie employee challengers to any sort of fashion contest you'd like to walk into the Thunderdome with me.
It's all I know is once I got my cowboy hat from Spire the Watcher, there's no going back.
I was gonna make a "Where have all the cowboys gone" joke. I'm not sure how many. What is that? Paula Cole really references the stream can handle in our audience if they still even remember that song.
It's all right. We get 1 per quarter. We can hold on to it.
Okay, good.
That's fair. Yeah.
How am I doing? You know, I don't actually run the old Bleach Watcher build too often, so I'm looking for if chat's like, hey Joe, you need to be throwing that turret more, you need to be casting more rift. I don't think I actually even fully perfected my build. I know I have some grenade regen focused mods here, but I don't think I have like all of the right mods to be generating even more energy.
Some osmosis here.
Trapped. This is the experience of being in the back of any sort of mine-centered experience, is that the folks in front of you have gleefully walked through the mines, and you will slowly follow them to wherever you
I built that habit way back in D1, running around the Prison of Elders, just detonating all the mines, and now when I play Warden of Nothing, I have that exact same muscle memory, where I just have to run around the entire room, detonating all the mines, and, like,
that's the right thing.
Very Michael Scott being like, I'm very fast today. It's that whole experience.
Starting to understand the Bungie devs more. They just don't use. He just doesn't shoot his power weapon or his fusion.
I didn't hold it long enough. Now that's not even.
He did the last strike and he only shot ace. Done that and now he's only shooting this freaking bow.
Let's see. We're getting some more. Actually, I know obviously the crafting was just
swap
discussed
your
a bit,
weapons, Joe.
But someone was asking too, just with regard to what's available.
Shoot that ascendancy.
Considering making event weapons craftable, I imagine they mean like Festival of the Lost and stuff along those lines.
You know, I think one of the things that we are probably more interested in that space is we've talked about sort of what we do with adept weapons right now, where, you know, you can take the raid weapons and you can upgrade their perks to be more powerful perks.
Supposed to grab that power ammo after not even shooting a rocket.
Weapon. I think we don't want every gun in the game to be, hey, this is something that you can craft. We want actually a balance of random rolls and crafted weapons. And so
too many crafted
I think
weapons.
Right now we're more interested in taking a bunch of these things and saying, hey, how could we make them, if you got a random roll that you loved of this, how could we make sure that you felt as good about it as you feel about some of your crafting weapons? So
yeah. Actually, also too, is there was kind of a question just about broad strokes. What was like the idea board for crafting? What was it like before it was released, as you guys were putting it together? Like, how was that idea hatched?
Oh, how to say? You know, crafting was a lot of things even before it was crafting. Crafting was
gave up.
We had some very different ideas. I don't think I'm going to talk about on stream because I think that maybe we might do them one day. So. And you know, in a respect to those folks that are like, Joe, don't still might do that.
No, of course.
It was sort of discovered through some iteration and through. You get a lot into game development where you're like, hey, we don't have the resources to be able to do this in the way that we want to do it right now. So let's look at what we can do.
The weapons
sort of came out of a bunch of ideation on Witch Queen, on hey, how do we want to push the systems game?
They got 2 wells. If they wipe with 2
really
wells,
regards
I
to
would
the
be
player's
astonished.
weapons
And
the
then
way
the
that
third
they
guy's also
interact
Warlock
the
with
progression part of the game.
turrets and rifts. I would
we knew
be
we were going to do some of the subclass 3.0 stuff, and so we're like, okay, we have
They're
the
basically
space
just
magic part of the
infinitely
game
sitting in
handled.
a
What
well.
about the items part of the game?
Probably have on the chess
yeah,
piece.
we definitely sort of wandered down a bunch of paths there.
Joe dies to the lasers. 1 in chat if Joe dies to the lasers.
Yeah.
I will say
2 if Joe
just,
makes it through the
as I
lasers.
say it, this room is one of the hairier rooms in this strike, and I think this team right now is doing a fantastic job at keeping it controlled.
Yeah.
We are not connected right now, which maybe I can go solve that problem for us.
But you're alive.
But we are alive. Oh, is it just I have to get the just to make sure the champion is off that? So.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Some of these you actually have to go reestablish the ghost connection, so we might need to go do that as well. But we'll see if it.
Nice. They got the
No,
unstoppable.
great. We're good.
Come on, Ghost, get back to work.
See, they have infinite wells. They just keep going back and forth with those wells. There's no way they wipe on this one, right?
All right. Well, chat is cooking. All right.
They got the right loadout for staying alive.
Chat, I can't.
That's why they're not going to nerf well,
because
because they know.
We got Andy, from the show.
That's how they beat
really
these
doing
GMs.
that. But I would just, I hope that y'all are on your best behavior. It's really exciting for us to do these kinds of things. But obviously, we also want to make sure that everyone that comes to a stream like this at Bungie feels welcomed and that they're having a good time. And so, again, with no context, this could be the nicest, least toxic chat we've ever had. I really hope that
everyone is nice in the chat. Surely,
for some of your fellow guardians out there.
I haven't seen anything questionable in the chat. Twitch would never. Twitch is just a wholesome community in general. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm in such gamer-focused mode right now.
Yeah, see, look, they keep
they
keep chaining these wells.
To once again, actually,
they're never without a well. These guys know what's up. They're just gonna chill in this corner in a well forever.
Welcome everyone to the Destiny 2 team Twitch channel. This is a place again where we kind of just hang out and have a bit more relaxed, casual conversations with all you fine folks in the audience. If you've been hearing my voice and wondering who that strange person is, hi, my name's Andy. I work on the social media team here at Bungie, and today we're hanging out just with all you fine folks. Just
lasers, and
also too, as a quick reminder, the entire pardon me, all
distract
of
him.
Your subs, all of your Twitch Prime subs, whatever the case may be.
Oh, he's got the moves.
All of that goes towards the Bungie Foundation. So thank you for all of you that are taking the time to go ahead and donate. You can learn more about their mission at bungiefoundation.org.
He's smooth on the sticks.
Check them out on Twitter as well, over at Bungie Love. So make sure and go ahead and give them a hello. They have a really, really incredible mission, and they do a tremendous amount of good. So make sure and give them some love.
This part, I'm kind of sketched for these guys in this part. This part can get out of control.
Okay. Oh no! See, this is the.
They take the easy laser. They're making Joe do the hard.
Get there first to assert your dominance. That you're gonna take.
Making Joe do the hard part.
One of the door.
That's funny.
Unlockers there.
The cord.
Yeah. The door key.
I try and do my best to just go ahead and run directly to the left or the right away, depending on which one, because
I want a kinder person than I am.
He almost got him. That red bar almost got him.
Badge all those years ago.
Oh, nice.
Oh, he's in trouble.
I don't want
that freeze melee was good.
My parents told me I could quit, and then told me I couldn't quit. So go ahead and
let's go, Joe. Let's go, Joe.
All right, let's see here. Chat, yes,
the turret.
Morning,
oh my
God. Kind of a fun one, honestly. Joe, what's your favorite exotic in Destiny? Or even just favorite exotic right now. I think picking your favorite, your favorite child is tough. But if you have one right now that's got your
Joe
eye, what particular
Blackburn's favorite exotic in Destiny?
I think there's a few different categories here. So one, I think I've said this before. I'm a Jotun apologist. I love Jotun. I love the way that shoot it. I think like thematically shooting like a sci-fi fireball in our game.
He did not just say that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So although it is not.
He did not.
The proverbial.
Now we understand why that's so OP.
Or PvP. I
think understand why it has all this crazy.
Is always a good time. I was actually
tracking
in a Crota last night where there were 2 people in my fire team. They were both named Jotun Go Whoosh, the exact same name. And when I got there, they were trying to do a no voice chat master Crota, and with two people with the exact same name, was a really interesting experience. So Jotun there is something that I love.
No voice chat. That sounds exactly like your average IQ Jotun user.
Destiny activities. Some advice I give people is to procure yourself a Wishender. I think I was using early on. It's just such a good, balanced, high-performing weapon in a bunch of our content that if you just need a red bar to die, if you're like, hey, I've never done a master lost sector, and so often Wishender is going to be a great option for you to go in there with. And so I really like the flexibility of that. I think that if I had one exotic that I could only use forever, it might be Wishender. But they're all a ton
the wall
of fun.
hacks.
I think one of the most interesting things that we've seen with the way that the artifact has been pushing folks around, or the way different builds, is to just see different exotics come back into the limelight. Andy, I know you're a big a Dead Man's Tale fan.
I didn't realize. I noticed about halfway through your answer. I was like, I know that this is going to be. I'm going to have to go ahead and say it. Yeah, I think honestly, I don't know. I feel I felt deeply in love with the Dead Man's Tale at the moment it came out. Honestly, like my first run through Presage, even when
there's the Ascendancy. Let's go. Let's go, Joe.
It was. I don't know. It's one incredibly.
His teammate's gonna stray from front of him.
Like there's no gun that quite feels like it, and two, I think it's just like its flexibility. Whether it's close range or long range, whether it's hip fire, aim down sights, like it has a ton of flexibility.
Bust that Ascendancy out.
I think this is a safe space where I can admit amongst you and I in chat that I have one with over 200,000 kills on it.
Ooh, I don't know if any space is that safe, but
look, this is a healing moment for all of us. Yeah, I don't know, huge fan. It's so good. All right, chat. I knew you were gonna react like that. I'm telling you, it's you're missing out if you're not giving it a try in PvE as well. If you get a new one that you've crafted with ricochet rounds and you just stagger every single major that comes across to you, not messing around.
With ricochet rounds,
I feel like I'm gonna be really sad here in a second
high
that
cal.
I don't have my turret, but I do have a super gear, so I think maybe
he's smoking some DMT with that one
to help out with some of these ads that are gonna be coming in. It'd be helpful. We don't have, I think, some invisibility here is always good on these heist battlegrounds to be able to get some of these deposits. Ooh, don't love that. Let's get out of here.
Oof, those guys are rough.
Ah, look, we have someone up in the rafters. A sort of
what?
Destiny,
they're cheesing.
Seasoning happening up there. I didn't even.
They're cheesing.
I had a friend up there.
Someone's been watching the TikToks about how to go ahead and accomplish.
Come on!
Love to see it.
You have got to be kidding me. Joe cheeses his first GM on stream.
And leaving my body under what is essentially a flaming turret right now, so not putting my best foot forward for.
That's actually crazy.
For this fine fella, but look,
he joined on people he knew too.
In that,
these aren't just randos.
Yeah, and a GM, I gotta say, this is gutsy. I'm a fan of it. Actually, also too, we're here in the midst of Season of the Witch. We've got some fun stuff going on between the store and the new activities. But what are some of your favorite stuff, or favorite activities or encounters so far this season?
We're talking about like new stuff from Season of the Witch that we're really excited about. I really like Spire. Like I have a lot both on the normal mode and Legend mode.
What is this? Why is this on the screen?
I think that. When we were going out to the reveal event and we were talking about it, it was one of the things that was difficult for us to talk about, right? You're talking about, we call it like a 3-player offensive, and what does that mean to a Destiny player, and why are we excited about it? But I think it both has this sort of like a super light version of a dungeon vibe with it, and just a ton of things to shoot, and I think that we love, getting, oh my gosh.
Oh. Got him. They got you,
Joe. This person again. Oh, maybe they'll get to use my rift that I put down when I died.
Yeah. Oh,
nope.
Oh, not the wipe.
We got one person.
Oh, no.
How will they?
This is an intense moment. This is a certified Destiny classic. The Wishender Warlock in the air.
Put our trust in
Oh, God.
Kellis?
Oh, God.
He got the well, though.
That
was actually kind of huge. Oh, my God. He's about to die on the well.
Also, too, though, I think one of the really interesting parts, the Deca Whispers is such a cool little update, honestly, I think, to the standard seasonal sort of progression. I know we have a blog on it, so everyone out there, make sure and go ahead head over to Bungie.net to give it a read. But broad strokes, what was it like kind of building that from the ground up and kind of creating this new little bit of kit for the Guardians to take into each experience of them?
We knew we wanted this sort of light build crafting experience there, this sort of like light deck building, and I think the team, went through a bunch of iterations on that. How do you make that feel right? Getting stuff like the redraws in there, figuring out what happens when, hey, it's something where you should all want different cards, you should all want the same cards. That team really, I think, sort of knocked it out of the park there with a way that, each one of those encounters, if you're paying attention and you're using loadouts, can feel like, oh, I know what I switch to. And I also think that, there's also ways to play that content that you don't feel the burden of it's a buff, not a requirement, right? Which I think is just really nice, right? Which is like, I'm not forced to play into this way. I can, if I really am just looking to log into Destiny and get this experience of, hey, I want to like shoot a bunch of aliens in the head, that you don't feel like you have to play the exact way the Deck of Whisperers is, asking you to play. So I think there's something good there, and I think also, it shows the different kinds of content. I don't think we would build out a Deck of Whispers for raids or something. That we want that to be a little bit more of a pure experience, and so different flavors of content for different moods.
Is that guy gonna get up in the cheese spike? Ooh, he got sniped.
Yep. Oh, also too, Lady Valkyrie already noticed it, but everyone, just a heads up.
Let's go.
Twit's actually live
Ascendancy.
now. If you want to learn a little bit more about the emblem I was talking about, maybe see a little bit of information about Sparrows that's upcoming next season, or about Festival of the Lost, head on over to Bungie.net. Is it fair? No, but we like you guys, so we're going to keep giving away more information and chatting with you anyway. So
I got to see this epic ending to this Grandmaster before we do the Twid.
The live Twid reactions, I'm sure.
I know, honestly, is that just what we do now? Is the streamers?
No, I'm kidding, where is our? Oh, this guy's still just up in there after.
Oh man, everyone's reading through the Twid. Yep, they're learning about, maybe there's some.
I'm sure we'll get some questions out of it. So we'll be excited to hear.
An all black memento? No way.
Yeah, Twitch chat. We're keeping an eye on you in the meantime. If you got any questions about the Twid. Also, too, this is kind of a fun one. We got asked, since this season has, and last season had kind of some roguelite elements to it. What are some of your favorite roguelikes or roguelites that you've played?
Oh, I think the top two will, be no surprise. I was an early Hades adopter. I played a lot of that game when it was in the early access period. Nice. And I think my absolute favorite is Dead Cells. I think it has a few qualities that I really love about it. It feels like your build can change at any moment while you're playing that game. It sort of has this like almost Bungie level of sandbox excellence, just in a totally different genre.
They got this.
I'm not sure what this is going to turn into a Dead Cells advertisement, which I'm sure some people will be like,
no, it's okay. Yeah, no, that is a fair answer, because I agree. Yeah, nothing to love for it.
But yeah, I think that's another thing about game development. We're all pretty big fans of the industry in general. I don't think, even myself, who I consider to be a pretty competitive person, like, man, I love it when other games are great. I love to be inspired by other people doing exciting stuff in the industry. So
they did it. They beat the GM. Does Joe Blackburn get a god roll?
All right, we made it through.
Of the rocket.
Not probably my best performance, but we made it. Let's see. Ooh, real bad.
Oof.
Look at that.
Joe got carried hard.
It's okay.
Joe got carried hard.
People at home will forgive you for it, especially after the stellar performance in the previous Vanguard Ops as well.
Does he even check the roll of the Braytech Osprey? That's when you know it's trash.
Let's see it while we're still in a group.
That's when you know it's trash.
Hierarchy of Needs is super cool. I have mine, but I don't feel like I've given it enough love to experience. And this is what a classic Wishender Apex Predator. I need this Apex Predator. I don't have one, but
rocking the
Apex Predator,
great value Apex.
The
Ascendancy.
Let's see here.
What's our time? Is it 10? Oh my gosh, it is 10.
We're sitting at 10:09. That's right.
I love it.
All right, everyone, we got about an hour. Actually, also too, is there's been some just general questions, kind of broad strokes, about game design, being a game designer.
Sure.
You've obviously had a career that's spanned over a couple different video game titles, to say the least. How did you kind of initially begin your journey to being a game designer?
Yeah, what a great question. And I will give a big caveat that I have now been in the games industry for long enough that my advice might be a little bit dated. So, but you know, somewhere over 10 years ago, I was getting out of college. I had an English degree, and was looking maybe I'd go to law school and had some plans around there. But I mean, I just loved games, and so I was looking for ways to get into it. And some folks gave me some advice, and they said, hey, if you can find a studio in which they do embedded QA. So by that we mean like the fine folks working in the QA department are embedded with the teams. They meet with the teams every single day. That's how we do it at Bungie too, with so much of our QA work. They're like, that is a great way to be able to start in the industry. And you know, that's what happened with me. I put together some resumes. I went out and I you know, got my first gig as an embedded QA tester. I loved the work there. Just to be like totally clear about that. It was super interesting to get to find out how like a proprietary tool works, getting to be the first person to test a bunch of that tools, getting to see how the team worked, and that was even, you know, in the MMO world, I was doing, you know, dungeon content, which I had a bunch of experience playing in. So getting to learn from a bunch of people there, and also see the sort of different paths. I think, you know, there are a ton of folks that have awesome, you know, career-spanning achievement in QA, and so getting to see folks doing that path, getting to see folks moving into production or design, it was just a really great exposure to it there. And what I started doing was I had to learn how to make stuff in the tool for my job, and I just kept making stuff. Even when I wasn't asked to, you know, outside of work hours, during my lunch or something, I would just be like, oh, I just made a level here. I just made a boss. And
so you're telling me you weren't just good friends with John Bungie?
Needed more design help. I was able to prove that, like, oh, I already know how to make a boss in your engine. Look, you've like helped me. You've given me advice on this. So that's how I moved into design, and that I think is the real core nugget for a bunch of the jobs. It's being able to prove that you have experience in it. And so we're if you're an artist, if you're a sound designer, being able to have a demo reel that shows sort of the work that you're capable of doing. There's so much great there's so many great resources on things like YouTube for, hey, here's how to work in Unreal, here's how to work in Unity, here's how to edit sounds for a movie, here's how to edit sound for a game. And I think you know, we're lucky to still have a career where there are some traditional 4-year schools you can go to. There's some great grad programs. There's also folks that say, hey, I'm gonna work a job. I'm gonna, you know, spend my nights working at Olive Garden, and for 5 hours a day, for 6 hours a day, I'm just going to learn this skill. And they come out with zero debt, and they're like, but I learned how to do modeling because I took all these classes and I took it really seriously. So my advice is anyone can be a game developer, right? Like, it is not a thing. There's very few bars to entry. Like, if you want to make a game, just go start making a game and see if you like it. Do you like the work? Do you like, you know, solving those problems? And keep working on those skills, and put together you know, something that shows, hey, here's what I could bring to the table.
Yep. Yeah. No, I completely agree. I will also say is I think one of my favorite things, like I've had the good fortune to be working at games ever since I was but a wee intern at PC Gamer magazine back in the day, and one of my favorite things about it is that you just don't have to ask permission to join this industry. If you want to make maps in Source, you can go find videos and education on it right now. If you want to write stories for someone else's game, you can probably find those connections in those communities out on Twitter and everything. Like, if there's something you want to make, just make it. Honestly, I think that's the coolest thing. Is like, you don't have to. No one has to ordain you to be a game developer. You can just do it. Also, too, is I see a lot of chatter in the chat about the TWID. Obviously, we can talk a little bit more freely about it now, but Festival of the Lost has some fun stuff coming up. Let's go ahead and start there. Eerie engrams, obviously, are going to be our engrams that are going to be filled with plenty of loot for you guys over the course of Festival of the Lost. Are there any Festival of the Lost weapons that you're looking forward to maybe trying to get your hands on?
You know, I think we've got a pretty spooky auto rifle that I think we have some new role possibilities that I think the auto rifles are in a pretty good place right now. So looking at some of that and maybe getting some new roles on that auto rifle is something that's in my
Definitely.
do I care about
Horror
this?
story?
Chain reaction? No, I have so many good rocket launchers. That's definitely on my hit list. I think the new grenade launcher is also something I'll be looking at as well there, just to sort of round that out. I'm always I have like a specific feel that I look for in my heavy slot grenade launchers, so I go off of that way more than anything else. So
You're like a Wendigo Geo3 kind of player, or what do you feel on
you
what
know,
you go to?
I love super high velocity grenade launchers. So like if I can make something, if I can crank the velocity on something, and then I can put like proximity on it, it starts to feel like a baby rocket launcher. And that's sort of the vibe that I'm always interested in. Like, hey, can I get this thing? Can I just send it when I do this? Let me get my wish ender over here. We were talking about this before the stream, so I don't think anyone off the stream knows this. But I still need a few of my season 22 exotics. And I actually, my Titan got all its armor exotics, but my Warlock is missing 2 arms. And so I think that we're going to go in and do some...
Take out some lost sectors?
Legendary or Master Lost Sector work here. And go
Sheesh.
after some
For both our,
it's about to get real.
Gym goers and Lost Sector goers alike, it is Arm Day. Obviously, we're gonna go and check out that. So also too is you've already got the Pyro Gale gauntlets on your Titan as well, right?
Yes, I love those gauntlets. I think the ability to transform a super into having a slightly different role is something that's always really exciting for us, and I think the Pyro Gale is just so like a real excellence of that is super excited. I've been using it a lot. I think there's a few builds for each class right now that are pretty great. Do I have everything I need? Strand Surge. So, did I spend that long putting all my life into Void, and people watch me put my life into Void to find out that it is Strand and Solar? Oh my god.
We just knew you were really particular with your playstyle, and it's been such an angry stream between us. I gotta sit now. I'm kidding. Also, too, is actually kind of a cool thing is this is our first time too adding a new memento since kind of the standard ritual activity ones.
Yeah. Did we show what it looks like in the TWID? I'm not sure what our.
Yeah, they did show what it looks like on the stasis.
Okay. There's a screenshot of it in there.
Yeah.
A trace rifle, rather.
Nice crisp leathery black.
Yep.
But yeah, there's also too people are just excited about it. You know, there's some questions I don't think we can answer them now, but just to acknowledge, obviously, folks are excited about maybe mementos being parts of other activities, be they raids or anything endgame. But yeah, we're just glad you guys are this excited about it. Honestly, it's great to see.
This is classic. I just in converting to solar, I forgot that I also need a machine gun.
Get that for the overloads.
For overload.
Yeah.
Or yeah, makes sense.
What machine? Are you busting out the fixed odds? What's the roll on this fixed odds?
A pretty big one, I think. This
Field
was
prep
alluded
killing
to in a TWID a while back, but sparrows are getting a bit of an increase across the board.
I am so excited about that. I mean, I think that we've had the always on time sparrow has reigned supreme for a long time, and I think it's still a really cool aspirational thing to go spend your raid spoils on. But I think a bunch of folks have been just itching to be able to use different sparrows, and so really excited to sort of unlock the variety for folks that want to go around in their little go-karts or show off their master raid sparrows. There's a bunch of cool things there that I think.
I think the I don't know.
Alright,
I'm going to
stuns
be
the
excited
overload's
to get
gonna...
the synchrotron accelerator, if I pronounce that correctly, back into the rotation.
Joe's gonna get clapped by this overload.
Because I think it's the only sparrow that doesn't have just like an actual engine on the back. It's got like a bunch of like electric rails kind of in the middle, and I don't know why, but like I just thought that was the coolest thing.
Oh my god!
When I saw it the first time. It's all right. He brought backup.
Oh, did we get the perfect little freeze here? We did not.
Also, too, is for the checkmate enjoyers in chat. There's also some talk about checkmate tuning happening mid-season on 10/17. So if you're one of the folks out here who is equally as excited as we are about that, go ahead and check that out. There's some stuff on the way. Plenty of information in the old Twitter,
Interesting. Adding some checkmate got it.
But yeah, getting a lot of questions about your vault space. Everyone will maybe
That's
see
one
if
vault
we can
space.
focus on that later. But for the time being,
Yeah,
it's
let's
armed.
see what I have here. I can actually look, probably. This is not the right time to be looking on another screen. You know, I've probably got about 200 slots in my vault right now.
200 slots.
And I'm in a pretty disheveled state, I will say, for my vault as well. I am not like, hey, I probably have some.
You shouldn't have Braytech frames. Leave them alone. They're on your team, Joe.
That I don't need. I probably have some older guns that have been replaced by newer guns. But like I said, also my armor collection isn't quite as immaculate as some other folks. So I know the folks that really feel vault space. Some of those folks just have an artifice roll for every possible
Bumper Boat's getting a speed update.
Multiverse outcome of a balance change. And that's not where I'm at with my collection for sure.
Yeah, the dream. Imagine.
Yeah, I am a little bit worried about my loadout here. I think that first overload sort of spooked me that I might not have exactly what we need here for this, but we'll see. This is a pretty classic master lost sector. You know, there's going to be some Minotaurs up here that I need to be worried about.
Oh, yeah, there's some more overload on the way. This is one that I spent quite a bit of time going through just because those Braytech frames do a pretty decent job actually helping you out in that final boss room, honestly.
Yeah, I think I might have over-prioritized barrier here and under-prioritized overload. I'm just worried I'm not going to have that burst DPS that I'm going to want soon with this machine gun. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, you may be able to stagger them and then just run up and immediately fusion and hope for a finisher, but
yeah, I think if I can get some solar damage boost, the fusion might be able to make quick works of it. So I'm gonna have to be thinking about armor charge and a few
trying to take out the security frames.
Also, there's just no reason.
All Sparrow speed update, really?
I don't know why I'm standing here. Let's get back.
Just raising up the base speed of all Sparrows. That's actually
really sick.
I want to go read the twit, but I want to finish watching this as well.
You like, come on.
Yeah. Well, I shot the guys last time. I let them out, and I was like, "Are these fallen?" And they're like, "No." Haven't we done this lost sector 1,000 times? Don't we know?
It's just arrow after arrow gets planted in their back. It's just like, Joe, come on.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. There was actually
Twit is juiced out. Yeah, that's a good one.
The game dev question. There was someone asking me more about getting into like the marketing and comm side.
Oh yeah.
The thing I'll say honestly is, I think maybe sort of similar to Joe in this regard, is my career kind of started just because I enjoyed kind of doing the work. Twitter was a brand new thing when I was an intern back at PC Gamer. There were a lot of opportunities to go ahead and just use new tools. Like I briefly worked on a World of Warcraft.
We'll do the twit then.
We worked with the folks, the folks on a community to go ahead and build a
put a
forum
pause on
out
this
there and to build a podcast. And really, I think at the core of it.
20 minutes later.
Go ahead and let us know. Obviously, we got Joe here. Just even if you have a question for him about game design or his past careers, or what it's like to be able to sacrifice a mustache as magnificent as his was. Now's the time.
So my mustache grows very slow. I have no great facial hair genes. I have to grow out like a gross beard to get the mustache there. Some people can just like do that in a week, and they're like, "Here I am," and that is not the genes that I have. So if that's you, good on you. Congratulations. And also, to get really in the nitty-gritty, my beard doesn't quite connect under my chin, and so it looks like I have some style there. It's like, oh yeah, Joe's trying this really interesting thing where his beard doesn't connect, and that's just
I was getting ran by this overload.
If I run out of revives here, chat's gonna kill me. And me versus this Minotaur is the greatest. This is like what's on Twitter now. It's just like, remember that time the game director fought an overload Minotaur in the Lost Sector, Daily Lost Sector for a long time? Maybe I should have done Legend. Maybe I'm not like as masterful as I thought I was.
He's about to get smoked by this Minotaur.
I mean, this whole time I've just been hearing Duel of the Fates in the back of my mind, honestly. So this is getting pretty serious, honestly.
This guy is regaining health.
Here.
Like, boy,
do we have the rocket? Okay, so
just use the rocket. They're saying, all right, let's see.
We're using the rocket, but look at the damage. He's gonna regen.
No, no.
I feel less confident about this rocket play. I also now am down in 5 revives. Everything about the build last time, I take it all back. We are now in dangerous territory. We're losing this duel, but I think it's Le Monarch spam. I think that's what's gonna get us out of this. This is scary, but it should tick here. Maybe just the slow here, also using the slow grenade more than using it as a...
Shoot that rocket, Joe!
Just to get maximum.
You crackhead!
I mean, this is what we really need. I've been doing this.
Think positively, Joe.
Oh, you're done. Oh, let's go the super.
Out.
Let's go!
He's free. He's
no, he's not
regenning. Life is pain again. We've lost our slow.
Is tough as nails. He's been doing his push-ups, honestly.
He really has.
Like, really good work by this Overlord Minotaur. Can I have him on my trials team? Imagine. Goodness, I should.
This is gonna be this is gonna be a battle for the ages.
See, we did get a question too about for getting into games. See, for getting into games, I'm currently majoring in computer science, but I'm not sure it's the right move for me.
Okay.
It's Jover. It's Jover.
For getting into gaming.
Joe needs to focus on this Minotaur right now.
I mean,
he needs to not answer questions.
The skill sets here are so broad. As I answer this question and give up on this Minotaur here, oh my gosh, and darkness is encroaching in 60 seconds. I think you need to know what you want to do, and so there's a bunch of great resources on YouTube that you could look at and say, hey, do I want to be a designer? If so, what kind of design do I want to be? Do I want to be a level designer? Do I want to be a systems designer? Do I want to be in art? Obviously, if you want to be in art, it's a totally different career path than computer science. Do I want to be in QA? Do I want to be in production? Like, all of these have some overlapping skill sets, but can feel pretty different depending on
There's
what you
no
want to
way
do.
Joe kills this overload.
And so I'm going to come up with a better strategy right here, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to throw this slow grenade. We're just going to spam rockets because we have the slow.
You're dead, Joe.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. I think this...
I can feel
He's
the
finishable.
anticipation.
Oh, and
He's finishable.
We're out of time.
Wait, but you still... Isn't it just your score? Do you just not get...
No. So now I cannot die. So now we are in ultimate showdown mode. Here
No.
with Minotaur. I have no revives left.
No rockets.
Really... I don't have my slow grenade. I have a lot of regrets about what's happened here today, folks. I think we were in a great place earlier in the stream, and now we're on Europa. We're on our last limbs here. We're running away until I hear that noise again.
It's getting dark. My bad.
Okay, great.
Oh, here we go. Do you have any more rockets left?
I don't have any more rockets left, and we're in double primary land, which is, again, not the place we wanted to be, and I think that I could have done...
Put that rift down, Joe! Oh, he's so screwed.
I could have used stasis for those barriers, and then had a fusion rifle, and I think we'd be living a totally different life. All right. Ooh.
It's tough. All right. In fairness, talking and playing at the same time, our fellow content creator friends out there can attest, is a learned skill. While they're getting a lot of...
That's one overload, Captain.
0,
Joe.
Are they for respect, though? Are they for respect?
Isn't it just that Call of Duty meme? I mean, I'm going to choose to perceive it that way, certainly. Reality is all just a part of your perception.
Okay, let's go do some PvP and see if we can end this on a...
PvP? PvP after that? Joe.
So I know I need some more mayhem kills. We'll go in here and see what we can do. Oh, I'm almost at another reset here with Crucible.
Oh,
nice. Mayhem. Okay, good.
Yes, too. As a heads up, as well, everyone, as a reminder, we unfortunately have other meetings we need to get to today, so we'll be ending the stream here in just about 10 minutes, right at around 11 a.m. Pacific. But of course, as a quick reminder to everyone out there, is this is the Destiny 2 team channel, so just kind of a chance for the developers to chat with all of you fine folks, the Guardians. My name's Andy. I work on the social media team here at Bungie, and of course, we are being joined by the one and only game director, Mr. Joe Blackburn, who's answering all your guys' questions here in chat. Also, too, as a reminder for anyone that has any gift subs or Twitch Prime subs, if you end up using them here, first of all, thank you. all of that ends up going to our friends at the Bungie Foundation, who have an incredible mission, honestly. So if you head over to bungiefoundation.org, you can learn all about what they're up to. They've got some really cool stuff, including a stellar emote that you can get in-game right now that goes directly towards supporting them as well. Oh, we're getting some asks for you to bring the toaster with you into the PvP as well.
Bring the toaster.
The dead man's. I couldn't. No,
yeah,
I
figured to go to your love here might be a way to send us on out.
Thank you. No, that's just for me, and I'm all for it. I appreciate it.
Oh, we're meltdowning.
Like a.
Listen, we just had a really bad experience in a Clovis Bray icy facility, so we'll see if this just becomes the Achilles heel today. But I believe.
I believe. Also, to some broad questions, I will say just about content from Destiny 1, reprised raids. On that side, we got nothing to announce today. If we have any information about any cool upcoming content, know that this is kind of more of just a hangout stream where we can go ahead and answer your guys' questions about builds, whatever curiosities you have. Any big announcements like that would definitely come through the Destiny of the Game account. So make sure to keep an eye on that. The moment we have any cool news to share with you, we absolutely obviously will. But for the time being, nothing to announce on that side of things. Also, too, as a reminder, the Twit is live right now. So if you guys want to go ahead and learn more about what's coming up in Festival of the Lost, including a brand new Memento, you want to learn more about the changes that are
all right, let's see Joe and Momentum
in Season 23. All that is
Joe
live
and Mayhem.
Right now, but,
I said Memento.
Right now we got Joe witnessing.
Uh-oh, Joe.
Witnessing some terrifying sights. All right.
Uh-oh, Joe.
Josh Undefined asks, will we see some other members of the dev team streaming here on this channel at some point? Potentially. You know, honestly, I think that's the purpose for this channel, broad strokes, but nothing to announce in terms of an upcoming schedule right now. But no, thank you guys, honestly. Like, we would love to have the
Throw Cosmo on the stream.
Oh, it stuck you.
Listen, we're okay. We're okay. We got so much stuff happening back here. You know, I wish if there's some PvP experts in the chat, one of the things I always think about when I'm playing Mayhem is, like, when is the right time? Do y'all space out your supers based off of hearing other people? Do you try to counter them? Do you try
There's
to
no
be
rhyme
the
or
only
reason to
person
Mayhem.
that's running the super in the map?
Just run around,
just overthinking it.
Yep, you're overthinking it. It's Mayhem.
I mean, I will say, in my experience, I feel like it just matters from game to game, you know, because as a Void hunter in PvP, I feel like I basically just hold my quiver to try and cancel out someone else's super as often as I can. I'm the fun police out there. But also, too, is like there's those moments in trials, right, where you're just down to that last round and both teams have 4 wins, but one person on one of the teams has a super. Like, those moments, like, you may as well
latency
as long as you can. Like, I don't know. I think back to some of my old gaming roots, and it's like, use those cooldowns as often as you can.
Yep.
I sell those super everyone.
Oh, we got that guy. I have yet to fusion rifle someone, which feels silly. Rifle. There we go.
I mean, I was having a pretty good time with Tessellation in PvP, I won't lie to you. Like that, oh my god. Trace rifle?
Yeah.
You love to see it?
What's that OG trace rifle called? The Void one. The music-themed one.
The seasonal exotic one?
Oh no!
No composure. Oh, he's talking about a trace rifle.
That's you, Andy, right there.
Wave splitter.
Wave splitter.
A lot of folks are saying.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm not sure if that was a wave splitter or a season 21.
Ooh, here's a question for you. What's your controller of choice, Joe?
Paddles. I got into the paddle game a while back, so you know, I think anything that's got sort of that, you know, pro control feel right now of gives me the jump. That's not what I'm using at the office right now, so maybe that's what I can blame everything on. That I really would have been able to handle that Minotaur if I just had paddles. That was really what was holding me back. I couldn't hit the aerial shots that I needed to hit.
You know, as a mouse and keyboard player who's not afraid to complain about my sensitivity being wrong when I start up a game for the first time, I gotta say, I think it's fair, honestly. It makes sense to me. Also, too, I see a question that I should clarify. This is not a Bungie bounty. There's no emblems being handed out today. This is just kind of Joe hanging out, playing the game. But but it can be a Bungie bounty in our hearts.
Yeah, I feel like
there's no...
you should have to kill someone that's harder to kill than I am to win a Bungie bounty. Oh no, going to be really sad about coming into this one.
No. Yeah, well.
Sweet. Yeah, it sounds like we're getting close to the end of time. I have basically the Houston in my ear telling me that, like, Joe, stop what you're doing, think about time, think about how many more games we have, and maybe even a person that we might be raiding after this.
That's true. Yeah, it's I believe we have someone they're going to be raiding after this, so make sure and stick around. We'll let you guys know here in just a moment. But yeah, first of all, as a quick reminder to everyone out there, thank you for taking the time to join us today. Out here on the Destiny 2 team channel, our goal is just to kind of hang out and just have more casual conversations outside of the guys and big, crazy, exciting announcements and trailers. And to that same end, thank you all for taking the time to join us. Just ask about what's happening here in the season of The Witch, what's been going on more recently in the TWID that released today, any of that stuff, or even just questions for Joe. Really about just like his own experience, you know, what it's like to work on Destiny or his game design career. So yeah, thank you all for taking the time to join us today. I know we're getting close to the end of time. I'm keeping an eye out for what questions I can, but also too is it's been a great conversation, honestly. Thank you all for taking the time to chat with us today.
Oh my gosh, what a crazy from behind. We were struggling that whole game, and then just at the last second,
just the rally at the end.
More of that Bungie bounty emblem.
Let's see who's getting these accommodations here. Okay, best dressed.
Definitely that green hunter.
I like this. Look at this. On theme. Yeah. Looking great. Let's see who's getting this. Yeah, we got a 2.0 here.
Nice.
And you know, I'm maybe this makes me a traitor. I always like to give something to the top performer of the other team when I'm in Crucible. Just a little, thing to take the sting out.
Trying to make friends so they can carry in trials. Smart
friends when we're playing PvP.
Smart, Joe. I see you.
Be good days and bad days. Sometimes you just get bodied, but you know what? Respect for your opponents is something you need to have at the end of the day. Either way.
We're getting pretty close to this accommodation score for 11. I think
a lot of people in chat are actually kind of seeing this for the first time. So yes, to answer those questions, yeah, if you go to that screen at the very end with the star to the left of everyone's name, even if they're on the other team, you can commend players on the other team.
Wow, really a bittersweet clicking in of this Lost in Legend triumph after what went down there. But we got it done. Now we just got to more here.
This just shows me that you conquered that. I don't know. I have no recollection of anything else happening, honestly. Yeah.
I conquered the triumph. I wouldn't say I lived up to my ×10 conqueror seal in that performance, but you know, good days and bad days, we'll take something from it. I'm sure there's going to be some memes on Twitter that I'll get later of like me being crushed by giant minotaurs.
You got smoked by that minotaur, Joe.
Now I will be the new version of the Crow that's just asking people for Eyes of Gatelords till the rest of my days to make up for this this performance.
Well, you know, either way, it was a challenge. I think all of us, whether I'm here sitting next to you or am observing chat, we've all had that experience as well before. That little hallway of death with Overload Minotaurs is something that's humbled each and every one of us at some point in our careers. No, but we're here at the end of the show. I don't know, Joe, this has been a good time. Do you have anything any final words that you'd like to tell us before we close it out?
No, thanks so much for coming here. And thank you, Andy, for doing this. Yeah, props to all the streamers that do this every day. Certainly, maybe as I've proved, is not a small feat, and it's totally weird. I mean, I assume there's people in the chat and that Andy hasn't been lying to me, but I'm just like in a room with the computer and playing some games to the internet. So really appreciated it. Appreciate all y'all, you know, engaging with Destiny content. And I've got a minute before I have to be in a meeting, so I'm gonna get out of here, I think.
And for that reason,
we got some busy days.
He's out.
But while we're going to be getting out of here, please everyone stick around. We're going to be going ahead and raiding Mittens Kittens. So stick around. Please show us some love from all of us on behalf of Bungie and all of your fine selves as well. This has been a great time. And in the meantime, make sure and go ahead and follow us across the board on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we'll keep you up to date with anything else as it happens. The TWID is now live, but take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.
Thanks, y'all.
An epic stream from Bungie, indeed. That was fun to watch.